I was built for a pandemic. I grew up in Putney, Vermont for the first 14 years of my life. Now, for anyone who doesn't know Putney, it is a quiet little hamlet in the southeast corner of Vermont, running parallel to the Connecticut River, just one bridge away from New Hampshire. Now, there is not much to do in Putney. There's no real suburbs, and every neighbor is at least 3 acres away, usually with a considerable amount of forest in between. So to say I grew up knowing how to entertain myself with my mind and whatever I could find is an understatement. I was very self-sufficient. I cooked for myself. I would play on my own outside for hours, always pretending that I was braving the wilderness or putting on little skits for my dog. Now, I knew what I wanted to do when I was 10 years old. It was 5th grade, and I was cast as Hermia in a middle school production of A Midsummer Night's Dream, and I was elated. And my mother was 10 when she decided she wanted to be an artist, and her father, my grandfather, soundly rejected this notion as impractical, because a career as a trophy wife, or if she had to work as a lawyer, was much more appropriate. But my mother has a tenacity that is unmatched by anything. And not only did she pursue her creative endeavor, but she also curated a wonderfully creative world for my siblings and myself. So when I came home and told her that I wanted to be an actor, this was met with hesitant support. I could tell that she was not thrilled. But, she looked at me and she said, "Okay, we can do this, but it's going to be a lot of hard work." Though I knew her internal dialogue was, "Oh, fuck, no, this sucks." But she was definitely supportive. She had to be. When she told her parents she wanted to be an artist, it was met with scorn and resistance. She was not going to do this to me, her only daughter. Now, over the last 10 years, I have curated a wonderful resume and portfolio of amazing characters and shows, and I've even began to dabble in a little film work. In the summer of 2019, I worked as talent at the Maine Media Workshops and College here in Rockport. So cut to now. It's 5 years since I moved to Maine, and we are in the middle of a global crisis. Now to have nothing. No work, no direction, with no real responsibility to be productive. I wake up at noon and lazily meander downstairs for a cup of midday coffee and bowl of whatever seems to be the most appropriate first meal item, and I go about the rest of my day relatively sluggishly, and dread having to do the chores that I've left undone for the last week and a half. I have never before wanted to feel the nauseating anxiety of opening night jitters as badly as I do in this instance. It's been nearly 1 year since I've been cast as anything other than, myself around the house. And in my mind, by this time last January, I would have completed another summer of Shakespeare. My 4th year, running through the park, decked head to toe in Anne's finest, if not craziest, ensembles. But as you can probably guess, this never happened. Instead, I've been confined to my home or socially distanced outings to the beach. Though, for as insulated and safe as I am, it's still been a wildly disorienting time. I can hardly recall the events of the past 10 months, and the best I can seem to comprehend the moments that have passed these last few months are as one great big pause. Everyone waits, breath bated, in a fearful anticipation. Though usually someone remembers the dropped line, or the lights go out, or at the very least, the stage manager will close the curtains. It's been a 10-month pause. No one knows the next line, because it was never written. And the lights keep flickering on and off because the crew frantically tries to decide what to do next, and the stage manager is nowhere to be found. So I stay, paralyzed to my spot, waiting for a moment to break the silence. And whether you're a member of the audience or the cast, all you can hope to do is freeze and wait. I've stopped planning for what comes next. It is impossible to know when I will be able to get my life and my acting back on track. And I am lucky. I have a stable home, a loving family, 3 dogs who are in need of constant affection, and I know I'm safe. I'm never in need of any necessity. I can stay home to protect myself and others when so many just do not have this luxury. So for now, I turn my focus inward. I distill the experiences of this pandemic into my art. Someday, when the world reopens to whatever the new normal is, when I'm able to meaningfully engage in my work again and perform for live audiences, I will do so from a place of great love and empathy, with a reserved thankfulness for being happy and healthy.